Hi, America, and cool celeb around the world, except for you Satanists who smashed the original Jamila's head in on the ghost lines and denied it with the S-Wipe 221. Actually, even without mentioning the Delft Social Security number plastered on my head, as old news on the news, you smashed my head in. We want to know who your psychos are following her at the Dolores shelter, the Jodie Foster film in high school between 13, 14, and 15. We've known that. You see, if you are famous for breaking space breaks, science, tech, in other words, I'm not an astronaut, okay? It's the math part, it's the physics, and it's new shit. And you're famous, and then you smash your head in on the ghost lines. And you can't handle it because you're fucking bitches and whores in the US and the boyfriends can't look at that girl. So they smashed her head in on the ghost lines. You get, in stupid times, every fucking blessing from the Opus Dei, the Muslims, the Russians, the Brits, the Germans, German aerospace calls you phenomena, and then you're fucking dead. Disneyland, you get all the blessings, people naming names. It doesn't make a difference anymore. This is not a question of a regular agent or regular intel or a microchip. This shit's in the head of the girl. There's buildings that are empty at Las Vegas and other parts of the world which are related to special sciences, special space science. In some low areas, like Poland, you have cancer. Why? Because the girl was a brushstroke, she was good in science. Russians, when they produce space phenomena, they're usually good in science. They're sort of like Saudi Arabians, the Arabs, the Turks. It's not going to be that this girl is just a geneticist. Okay, I told you I didn't do biology. I told you I didn't do echo. I did bio and echo, but I did more sciences. Okay. You see, Martin Snowden and the others, they have white hairs with me. I look like a photocopy of Eleanor Thompson, the geneticist in Woolwich. You killed the girl on the ghost line, smashed my head in, and when I came back as Disneyland in the US, you started speaking about how intelligent you were and started flaunting your tits and ass in my face. I'm like, you want to be jealous of me? Okay, you want me to? My parents said it. Let the American females feel special about themselves after they smashed your head in on the ghost lines. You are the genetic replacement Disney black girl. You're not Jamila. Let them feel it. They're sick in their heads. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to go sick with all this shit. Plus you have the psychos following me. And you're speaking about core celeb around the capital cities for the don't pick a better, let alone for the fucking psychos. There's no prophecy 221. You go by prophecy, you know why? Because you're whores. And if it were prophecy, as in, Jose and all that, then you're the Satana, you're Bruno, you're the ass. I don't understand it. That's all news on the news. You lost intel. You got pissed off that you lost the intel because you cannot control your feelings of hatred towards intelligence that had his head bashed in on the ghost lines. The bridges, which are in Rome or Cairo or Saudi or Russia or London or DC or Warsaw International, the square hostel with a gray, it is a pink hostel, the bridge is gray with all the shootouts. That's my bridge, the bridge of my friends, okay? In other words, when you see, colossally speaking, to give you the Disney version of it through me, once you smashed my head on the ghost lines and I came back in intelligence, the Delft, the plum and time, the wormhole project of the UN to the worm. Okay, we get it. Thanks. The nails, old news on the news, on Sean Sharp. That's old news on the news. They could see it coming. They could see it coming with all the flyings and runnings for the barons. And they could see it coming with Jamila on the ghost lines because she used to work elsewhere. I do have negatives of that girl. In other words, this that you call Disney, you see, this is old news on the news with the nails. And those 80 countries connected those globals and the retirements of the barons in Fresno, and they were wise and beyond the jobs. And the girl is a globals. But now after smashing her head in. This, what you call the ragdoll, has uber mentioned Western Europe. That's why Basler and Woolwich brought me back. Let me remind you, if you are associated with, no, not presidents, you cheap whores in America. That's what I'm telling you, you cheap whores. Even the presidents got involved. because I went to school with them for free. And St. George's, I was a child, the phenomena. In St. Stephen's, I had my head bashed in, and I came back like Disneyland. Why? Why did this shit come back with the president's kids? Nah, your horse. And I'm going to say it out loud. If you have hanging benches of the Supreme Court justices in DC and Langley defending the father and the mother, and Nally Direct, rule of law Brussels, defending them, the many flyings and runnings of mine and then my fucked up crawlies, because I'm not Jamila. Let's fucking admit it. You smashed that girl head in on the ghost lines. That shit's empty. And so you were the terrorists. The ghost celebre of 221 was the beautiful buildings that are empty at La Sapienza in Space Sciences. Elon Musk didn't get to La Sapienza. Neither did he get to Moscow or Cairo or Berlin, Buzzers, or Platinum Hayes or Woolwich Aerospace. Yeah, that's what she was good at. That's what Jamila was good at. That's why July 20, the birthday, is a dead birthday. Now, there's other people on the planet who are happy about the Platinum Hayes. I'm not. Why? Because it cost me my ass. Literally. My beautiful shit's empty. So when they were speaking about Rompiga Basin, Rosalba's Piste and stuff like that, it's not that Western Europe brings back a dead baby where she was born and raised, with the inner circles in Woolwich and the UN. Everyone's talking about a dead baby for nothing. The nails around the globals, all news on the news, and you still hate the Disney version? Why? Because you smashed her head in on the ghost lines, and that shit's getting empty and you don't like the J-Lo concert. Then why don't you reopen my buildings, you fucking PhD whores? And your tits and your limousines. You killed that girl that way. And Western Europe is like, you know what, we're going to make negatives out of her. The inner circle. Ma fatta 100.000 di Jamils and Jamilas in Western Europe. They'll fucking smash your ass. You think they're going to reopen my own buildings? Think of the evil side of Jamila, rather than the beautiful side of Space Sciences and all that shit and cancer. Now that shit's fucking empty in La Sapienza. It's empty. Berlin is just looking at it like, Jamila, you were phenomenal. I'm not going to speak about a dead girl. I have no pretenses. You smashed my head in on the coastlines. I wasn't alone. The guys have blood in my head. It's not only the Italians and the Woolwichers. It's even my fucking enemies, the Germans. That's all news on the news. US! Just shut up. There is the Scotland film To Stay in Rome for a Dance. I'm not going to speak anymore. La gloria di che Jimmy è phenomenal. I had that, you know. You go. The Scotland film To Stay out of hit all over the West. Oh, thank you. What about Fresno for the parents? On retirement. Oh, my God. You don't see it. You don't see crime. Very unusual that a girl like that had her head smashed on the ghost lines. May I add? How? The passion of killing Jamila. She wasn't shot with the bridges like the other guys. No. You smashed my head in on the ghost lines. You took my teeth out. You crumbled my fucking bones. And you said, fuck it, 221. You're dead. Then you brought me back with a social security number Dolph in the lowlands from Hooker Sack, Graph City in New England, in Disneyland mode with a particular code called Disneyland, connected those globals with the nails. While in Western Europe, they were speaking about where I was born and raised, some phenomenal that had died on the coastlines with beautiful buildings empty and not some cheap-ass banks that you fucking Mossadians reopened. And then you fucking started shitting on the dead baby 221 on her electrocrawlies with your psychos. Ammazza Dirk and Van Damme. That's the Hague Bureau de Veritas, saying the Roman Tribunal as an addition for your extra fucking bitch Americans. Tried to kill her. Again in Disneyland. Does it? Are you speaking about cool celebre? Why the fuck they keep sending back Disneyland to your chubos in California? Do you even have a brain? I swear by God. Dirkian, if they kill me another time here, could you please put in a second Hague? Thank you. Not because they've been killing Disneyland. I'm sick of this shit. Alright, sir. By the way. Then, after all the flight, 92 and 92 and above for the band, United Ages, run! I mean, how many run? I call it runnings and flights. Okay. 85, 85, the band. I had my head bashed in on the ghost line. The what? I ain't been to the argument, this is not direct, no simple cazzo. Baba had an injection in his stomach at the age of almost 76. In the lower part of the stomach, Mama was taken to Poland, shot on Poland royally with poleaxe at an article 7 the rule of law not to be read. At the age of 5, Indians, I knew them. To Russia. The US still hates me. So if I'm walking down the street as San Francisco, I see people from Fresno and other places. Why the fuck are you making noise? And I said to them, because around the world, they saw empty buildings in space sciences. Or they saw empty buildings in new tech at La Sapienza. And that's all news on the news for the nails. You already smashed that girl. I only have 1472221 left with our social security number. Pink ass will not be reborn in the genetic freak schools in the UN in Rome. Already been erased once. And being erased again. 221 Delta is only supposed to exist for a blip of time and then get out of here. And still, they hate the dead baby. In other words, they already did the sulfuric shit. They already did all that shit to Jamila on the Ghost Lines. With that intel, with those buildings empty in space sciences in the US. That's why they call you Southerner, and I'm Junior. Posterior. So when you speak about courage, it doesn't take much for Disneyland to connect to those club bells in 80 countries, even if those guys have platinum hairs and they're geniuses for herself. It takes, though. Doesn't it? Then there is the hanging on top of that. Sorry. I could say beyonds, aboves, and on tops. The amount of flies, runnings, and crawlies of the girl against Fresno's retirement, the intelligence of Fresno. They want us out, the Scotland film. They don't want us here. Why? Because you can have all the intelligence. You can have all Lara Quintas, Amy Quintas. You can have the whole East Coast. You can have London, Rome, Western Europe, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Cairo, Turkey. You can have the whole fucking world seeing this shit. And many times, if you didn't see the flyings 92, 92 and above, that's one thing that many times. You saw the runnings 85, 85 because there were too many. And then you saw the crawlies of that car. You've seen everything. You've seen what the fuck Fresno's intelligence is when they're retired. Cheapo's ass intel. What you claim in Fresno, the agents who you are, whether it's Tom and Jerry Tarantals who are running the town, his buddies, his friends, his Atals, his wingmen, his girlfriends, and the whole shit. What are you comparing yourselves? The government is paying for your cheap whores in Fresno, including the girlfriends and nurses. Studying Disneyland takes nothing. They already studied me ages ago in the genetic freak school for Disneyland. In 80 countries they did that to me, you cheap whores in Fresno. The only difference is, whatever they were jealous of before the original Jamila, now they feel guilty because they're intelligent enough to see that when Jamila had her head smashed in, those buildings at La Sapienza in Western Europe are empty because I'm dead and you smashed my head in. They know what a genetic graft replacement child is, Asswipe 221 Delft Lowlands after you smashed my head. You fucking whores in Fresno. Go! Get yourself a PhD or a limousine. Not only do you kill the intel that badly on the Ghost Lines, then you have the pretenses. These are your pretenses. Every single one of those buildings was mine. The others who saw in that girl in Rome, in the UN, in Western Europe, in Woolwich, in their countries, who saw that in me when I died, before I died, and I had the head bashed in, those people were thinking that was the shit. So everyone was listening to the deans. Everyone was listening to the chancellors at the universities. They weren't listening to you cheap asses on the Ghost Lines. Because if you lost that intel, and it wasn't just one person on the Ghost Lines, you lose alla grande, the proverbial share. So everyone's saying Roman to each his own. This is mine, this is mine. This is my project. You smashed my head in. You took this. I'm going down with her. We're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this. That was Western Europe. That was Russia, Saudi Arabia. That was the nails. That was old news on the news. Watership down. Titanic, Mermaid. That's old. Even the fucking CIA knew about it. Of course, it happened here. In your country. You still have the pretenses for that. And I'm fucking dead. I'm like the Greta Thunberg tip of the iceberg shit coming out from the ghost lights trying to warn you about this shit in Disneyland. And you're sitting there going, I'll kill the bitch! Because you're fucking retards! I'm suing you. Swear by God. Forget about the Hague and the Bureau de Veritas and the Roman Tribunal de Van Damme. If they kill Disneyland, assassinate me in the US again, you're sticking in a second fucking Hague. I don't, no reservations for Asswipe. This blimp in time for a split second for you to run. Hurry up! And you're sticking that shit back in jail. Back in jail. Because of course they allowed them to come near me on my little crawlies here in San Francisco. Oh yeah, from Fresno. My steady reputation. Then they're going to try to Americanize this by trying to make a movie out of it. You see, this is the US. It's losing half fucking intel of space science from the beginning with all those flies and runners who actually worked with the CIA. Yes, they did. On 92 and above with the parents, everything was good on all the flyings. It was on 85, the runnings and flyings, that people could see something going on. First of all, they could see who the fuck cheapos asses Fresno is for the parents on retirement, their intelligence or what they claimed. And that shit on the bus lines, at the end of 85 for the parents, that her girl has her head smashed in with the bridges and all those bullet holes around the planet. It had DC, Rome, Washington Nationals, Moscow, Cairo, Saudi, London. My cats of all. You deal with the fucking bridge. I'm a relic from that shit on the bus lines, and you're sitting there going me, I killed the bitch. That shit's a deal. That's a piazza. That's a piazza. I'm dead because she died. Let me kill the bitch. She's not even her. She's just a replacement child. This is what I hear for 20 years from you fucking whores in the US. This is who the American girls are. And this is what they showed to Disneyland in Fresno and Frisco. And your boyfriends. This is what's famous and known. That's why they call you Satanist for what you did to that girl. That's why there's a Roman tribunal in addition for your psychopath. And don't give me the shit of your fucking Ukrainian whore in Fresno and some fucked up whore Ukrainian in Poland. So that's why you hated that girl so much on the ghost lines, huh? You gotta look at the Disney, shut up. We're gonna show this shit. They really did with the Roman tribunal. It's official. The parents. The parents are born in pioneer camps beyond the capital cities. Therefore, they're not born in Rome like me in the capital cities and stupid times, villages. Maintain Greenwich. I'm actually going to those good bells. The parents are born in pioneer camps beyond the capital cities. So they're pioneers. Okay? Champions at the age of 5, yeah. Okay? Sports and stuff like that. They get hired as D1s. Okay? D2s for 20, well, no, they were like, yeah. For about 10 years, they were D2s, a bit more. And then later, they were D1s. Oh, it's directorates. Also, TCY USA, that's their jobs. Work. Huh? They're dark. They understood sciences easy for them. They didn't even have to understand. Easy. They're dark. Although their energies, that darkness, that, you know what I'm saying, was employed as directorates, D1s, also TCY USA, and 160, 180 countries work for him and 140 countries work for her. Not the shit that you're speaking about, junior this and junior that, and hating. Every motherfucker on the planet saw this. They sent so many times. You wonder why there's cement trucks around the capital cities ever since I had my head bashed in. I was speaking about bacterial motherfucking, killings, or are we speaking about killings from who knows where that many motherfucking times? So the hang benches, Laura Quintus, and I direct. Because if you have that amount of intel on the flyings through the US and abroad, it's one thing. Because you stay on the coastlines, you do your shit there on retirements in the middle of the desert of California, Fresno, on all the flyings, 92 and above. Then you have 85. That's a lot of fucking runnings against Fresno. On my runnings, flyings. That, and why am I saying mine? Why the fuck I came back and did that piece of shit? Okay. Then we have a girl who, at the end of 85, has her head smashed in on the ghost lines. And she goes back like this. The nails. Western Europe is saying she was a phenomenon. Everyone's saying it's a fucking phenomenon. everyone's, even the Dar es Salaam neighbors, I'm not even speaking about it because, okay, I'm dead, bastard. They're saying that on the side there's Ubermensch. Okay, where? Okay, we're seeing them. Okay, you have proof. Okay, so everyone knows. Okay. I can't change that. You understand that? I cannot change. Nobody can change that. When somebody already had their head smashed to bits on the ghost lines, they come back like this, like nails, Disneyland. And everyone on the planet knows that about that girl in those 80 countries. I don't give a shit about the US. You want to stick in the 20, 25 states connected, those clubs, you're welcome. We have the Scotland film to stay in Rome for retirements, where the girl gets kidnapped and the parents stay in Rome for retirements. Why? I was in that film when I was a child. Why? That's all shit on the news. I don't like Hollywood. You are ugly. I have never seen anything that ugly in my life. First, you're smashing the girl's head in on the ghost lines. You're insanely jealous about a girl. So insanely jealous that you smash her head in on the ghost lines. You bring back some kind of soulless little baby in Disneyland, connect the dots, buzz in 80 countries in 25 states. People are preparing for the fucking fall. Ages ago, what do you call that shit? Mermaid, the Watership Down, the Titanic, that shit. Well, the nails, the plum hairs, ages ago. In 80 countries, connected those club bars. Plum hairs, the whole shit. So I've had enough of those assholes. I was like, what? Because one girl died? Yeah. Because you had that in your head. You were our leader. In other words, this girl standing in front of you was the one who was the phenomenon. She was the one who was doing all the flies and runs. She wasn't alone. She had men around her like a pack. Okay? She was doing... She wasn't alone. But now that you smashed your head in on the ghost lines, those girls are going to... The concept is as thick as shit as the concept is nailed on the fucking wall. That shit stays empty. And you're getting the plum hairs. Change it, bitch. PhD? Limousine? Best of the best? Okay, no, obviously California. So that's what happened. That's the storyline of the dead baby, of the angels, of the non-existent angels. The ballerina, call it what you want. Now, in her place, after you smash her head in on the ghost line, there's the Hague, the Bureau de Veritas, the Low, okay, whatever. I defend girls and boys, children born with innate unnatural talents beyond the space sciences and sciences. And I'm looking at Dirk and I was like, okay. And he's looking at me, he's like, you're dead. You're officially dead. I said, what? You had your head bashed in California. There's all news on the news now. Hey, I've never met a girl like you. A sto punto che te posso dire? Perciò cazzo culo pure così like it. And I'm supposed to be afraid of you in Disneyland? No. So, keep losing in the US. Keep losing. I'm bad. The guy on fucking phone to go. Now these assholes jumping on. Shut up. Moving on. Oh, my little girl is. You sent Cyclos to Frisco. At the Dolores Shelf, you want to send more? I don't care. We'll see you with the second Hague. Go ahead, Did Kim. We'll do just that with the Disney baby. In other words, I've had enough of your fucking shit in the US. Your cheapos, your cheap assholes. You exige fucking PhDs and yet you can't reopen one fucking building of mine on Los Sabiens. Or other parts in Germany or in England. I don't even have them in Germany, but Germany talk. Talk and more than talk. That's just for me. Those guys know what I did. They ain't gonna be sitting there and sending to you. What about the father and the mother Fresno? Oh, okay, that's something else. They're like, Chad Fresno should have been fucking bald. For the parents? You lost it. What's it? Oh, this is that. I don't think this one goes like. You tree bars? Like nothing ever happened. So you can have your titties and asses in Fresno. That's who you are. That's what I knew when I was 5 years old in Rome. Looking at empty buildings in Los Sabiens and other places. Didn't talk about it. What am I going to speak about in Western Europe? Scotland film. Yeah! That's who you are. You speak about butter. I'm gonna show you butter. George was not my husband. I'm telling you this right now. Pezzo di merda. Nothing even do nothing. Bro, I'm too busy flying and run. Now I gotta do the cross of this and now I gotta be with guys who I'm going near in my real life. Oh, fuck. On top of that, I got the electrocross with these cycles. Oh my! And the homeless centers in Africa. Photo for president. How the fuck did they get here? This is my question. Oh, I don't care. And they were visitors. Until you learn your ass. Because there was a meaning to that curse. That will come all the blessings of the Opus Dei. And Quintus, Lara Quintus, and me, and Ali the Red were born in the Vatican. I was conceived in Saudi Arabia. But that's where I read Lara and the others in the Vatican. Opus Dei, not Opus Dei. That shit's like, you know what? We're bringing Opus Dei. Opus Dei doesn't have any real affiliation. You just blesses and everything. The Muslims, the Russians, got Brits. Everyone's like, well, maybe she's precious. Oh, shit. No, Russian. It's amazing. You know what? I've had enough of this shit. The Brits going, you're in a circle, and you don't have to say to them that you never really were religious because you just didn't have the time. You were either flying or running. And now, quite frankly, let's speak about what's her name? Anna Franca. Frankian. Isn't it? People are good inside. And I'm like, sure they are. That's depressing. And so, you know, at the beginning of them, they said, oh, yeah, there was a crap. And now she's like a candle. Excuse me, but at the beginning of them, even Miss Murphy and Ambridge. Miss Murphy and Ambridge, everybody know everything about Irish funk teacher. From elementary, primary school, middle school, and high school. They know everything about wool. Well, everything. No, some. They know what's coming out. Real art. Then they got the same with the others, and the others, and the others. And my Africa, they got Russians, the Saudis, the Arabs, the Turks, the UN, my cops, the Germans are starting sticking their head in like this, looking at their surgery. Oh, you think that was a man? Ooh, that man, she was a little baby girl, smashed in the head. Ooh, those are phenomenal. What are they? Maybelline, come here. What a stupid, retarded American. What the fuck? I listen to this shit since I'm 6, 7, 8 years old, and you're sitting there in the US going, I hate you, bitch, I'll smash your head in again. Because they're phenomenal. US, you're mentally retarded. You're seriously mentally retarded. The Disneys on the planet knows this shit by now after you smash my head in on those lines. And you sitting there and hating me? For what? For stating the obvious? If you cannot say what happened to a dead girl and that some replacement child genetic grafted her came back in Disney mode, because what else can you do after you smash your head in? I bet you the safety bill. Look what they did to me. Look, I don't care if you kill me again here. We'll stick in a second Hague. I want to show to the world that 221 was famous for those things. They showed it, I didn't. I want to show to the world the hanging benches of Laura Quintus and Natalie Direct defending both parents from the pioneer camps beyond the capital cities and their jobs also to Shiwa USA. In all those countries around the world. 160, 180 for him, 140 over for her. I want to show to them that the original Jamila had her head smashed on the ghost lines and I'm a replacement. And that shit's empty because I'm dead. The new shit. The colossal share of 221 Delft Lowlands. The number from the Netherlands, where the Bilderbergs came from. That's the number. Dirk Jan Van Damme is from there. I'm not going to be sitting there and and still having pretenses for that shit. It's lost. It's lost. It's lost forever. Now that they make water ship down, the whole shit, mermaid, the whole shit. Abraham has around the world. Man, excuse me, CIA. You know the shit ages ago. You know it happened, eh? You speak about backs that worry you. Look at shit, bang. They're butt ugly. That shit was beautiful, motherfucker. That shit's all math and science and that shit's empty and that's and everything else. I tell you, I didn't go with a fucking cloud in the head. Excuse me, but that's what we call Nigeria. That's what we call I better they are free and stay out of fucking US and there's no fucking sacrifice to keep them out. You catch the pink house over there, that's it. Or some blues somewhere else. Just stay out of the US, the Scotland Phil. It's not that you have to start saying, I am a patriot. You're a patriot? Those psychos are patriots from the federal government? Those are not federal government agents, and if they are, then they are not only moles, they are the criminals. They're the ones who smashed the girl's head in. They're the ones who lost the beautiful buildings and space sciences empty. And they're the ones who started this fucking war. That those guys are emptifying their own shit. What's mine is mine. That's my intel. You smash my head in on the coastlines, I'm taking. I got genetic replacement child cord guard. That's mine. That guy is saying, no, that's mine. That's mine. That's mine. The fuck, coastlines. Your fucking bridges, the Medda with a shootout. It happens that when Jamila was alive, she loved her parents more, with her big brain and herself. That's for sure. And what he's asking, when you have a brain, now you got Disneyland. What the fuck is that? Conecta dos Cotas, I did. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Fresno for the parents. They keep sending me back. Go ahead. And then you have these cycles. So half of them, even fucking God fell in love with me. Then they make it look innocent. They're killers. Grafsky was a complete killer. He was Ukrainian. He wasn't Polish. No. Everybody in London who was all these migrants and stuff in London and Baltimore was all fucking Ukrainians. Yeah. In fact, he was even born on the border with Ukraine. Shut up. He had suicided 25 times in London. 25. Just in front of the University of Greenwich. Woolwich. Since he was 5 years old, he was gay. He killed 2 Polish people. Spent I don't know how many years in prison for that. He said he had killed an Iraqi person. Only the other day, cheers for that. Nutcase. I got following me in London. Follow. 4 years of tracking. 4 years. Then I stopped. After 4 years, and I stopped. All the trackings. In the East Coast, 3 months, DC, Langley, New York 1 week, and London, Moscow 5 times. After 4 years, Jamila, 2017, January. From then, 4 years passed, had stopped. She had finally stopped the tracking. Doing San Francisco and the other place. Other places first and then the other. But anyway, out of Fresno. And then, there he comes. Motherfucker starts following. Ooh. Oh, yeah, but she's good. I stopped caring. I said to everybody, I said, listen, I'm tired. I'm Disneyland. Stop calling me Forrest Gump that many motherfucking times. I got Crawley's little crawl. There he goes. I think I was retirada. Those guys, I swear by God, civilizzazione, bro. And then for the father and mother, get it. Cases and this world. And then they say to me, you're psycho. You're schizophrenic. Well, maybe I'm schizo because I was raped. They said it was only like when I had been raped at 15 and but then it passed. And it wasn't schizophrenia, bipolar or any of that. I know the problem. I said, yeah, Disney was just a business. You don't have that. I said, issue about it. And all the doctors in Rome, UCLA, New York, and even the holes in the fucking walls that beat the shit out of me. Since I was a child, just walk a straight line. Somebody abused me. I'd be taken into a fucking hole in the wall. I had these big guys beat the shit out of me in Western Europe or other places. London and Wales even. And then, you walk a straight line, little Disney, or I'll fucking kill you. And I was like, guys, that girl had her head smashed in on the bus lines, and I am a replacement Disneyland child. You want me to walk a straight line? You connected those globals, or I'll fucking kill you. And I'm looking at these people, and I said, how long do I have? Just that. Okay, perfect. That's it. That's not even mentioning Fresno for the father, mother, and retirement. That's not even mentioning them. That's not even mentioning the parents for retirement, motherfucker. The trained poodle in the house. And then I'm going to be sitting there and say, I'm better. PhD. I'm a woman. That girl didn't have time for shit all around the world. She was either flies or run. Now what? Disneyland for a blimp in time, and you got upset about that. You got your 10,000 love letters from the guys crying out their eyes since she's 14, 15 years old in Italy. Ma che cazzo da merda, the paese. A fucked up country. But I have money. I'm president. I have this. I got a limousine. I got a PhD. Ma who gives a shit? Disneyland si proprio rotto al cazzo. My motherfucker was saying wrong for his time. This blues too. How do you do that? I say smash their head. In Western Europe, where she came from. The flies, right? Wait a second, didn't they have the intel in the US before with Jamila? Yeah. They smashed her head in on the ghost lines and that shit's empty. Yep. And they made the fall down with her ages ago. We all know that around the world. Yep. What, the wormhole to the worm? Wait a second. Not everybody can do that one. Come on. Okay, I got it. You're assholes! You can't even get the fucking basics of Disneyland! Oh shit on the news. The nails. I ain't gonna be sending your cycles to me. Fuck you. It's called Glenn Film. And you know what? If I have 147 to 221 left, a social security number. Only that. Because pink cows and those genetic schools will not be reborn. Lip. 221. Lip. 147 to 221 is the last digits. 147 will become 221. I don't exist. Call it. This is not the original Jamila. If you want to see something else that looks like me, truckers as relics. Olaf Sikobunki relic. After you smashed that poor girl's head in on the ghost lines 221. The big one, yeah. I'll say, yeah. Well, that shit in her head. Now you're trying to what? Make a prostitute out of Disneyland, US? So much for jealousy and envy in 80 countries colloquially. They were saying the fucking truth, weren't they? They were saying the truth about the people of America. You don't know how to control yourself. Katsu the intel. That when it dies of fucking up devices, space sciences and tech, the new shit. You're not going by Western Europe. You still want to call me Bin Laden because I'm against the Mossad. You know what you are? Horse. And that's what they called you in every capital city. Even in Germany, which is not me, the Baslers. Fucking Tierhaufen, which is a Nazi fucking place. They're looking at me like, the Americans are fucking crazy. And I'm looking at them like, how do you know this shit? And they looked at me and said, you did something amazing. He said, yeah, but I'm Disneyland, so just drop it. It's just a split second, I'm leaving. I know they're continuing. Yeah, I know they're continuing. I know the concerto. I know this obsession. What about Fresno for the parents? They're far more important. I love my parents far more. My life even is not important, you know. Sure, they had a fixation over that shit on the coastlines, the water shit, the intel. My parents are on retirements in Fresno. The hang bitches, Laura Quintus, and I direct that many motherfucking lies, Ronnie's again, blah, blah. First it was flies, then it was Ronnie's. Now what the fuck is this? Disneyland. And they look at me in a split second and say, what a bunch of assholes. And I'm looking at them and I'm thinking to myself, wait a sec. And you're about the nails around the world. That's all the news on the news. What the parents every time the train put on, that's bad, that's bad, that's really bad. No, that's bad. No. What about the Scotland film? Oh yeah, it's a Scotland film. It's staying wrong for retirement. Keep their bitches and their PhDs and limousines and the ghost lines, but staying wrong. And do we have any offer? Oh, the blues. That was my relics are Ubermensch. I told you they were not James Bonds. But where are they? Where would they have been created? Because you can't, you see, first of all, you don't make Ubermensch when you smash somebody's head in. But they would be in Western Europe, the blues. So who would have them? Probably Western Europe. But that makes you Roman. But then I saw them in Russian, so you're... well, I guess they could still go. The relics. Wait a second, you smashed her head in on the bus. What about the Brits? You know so about it. Oh, them with the white hairs. Jamila, you were one of our best. Was it? And you brought back Disneyland? Homer! I'm brushing my teeth. And we are doing the John Bennett film. There was a John Bennett guy in Roman high school. Yeah, he was my age. He was was in the same class as Amy Quent, which is basically my age. 3 classes below me. I'm a winner, Trey. Bye, Trey. Poor guy. Was kidnapped. His parents worked on the 5th floor of the UN. My parents worked on the 4th. He was in high school. They weren't very nice. They said he had been kidnapped around 2000, 2001 or something. Hold on. I know, Squishy, you got. Just make it happen in Roma. Around the age of 20, 21 for me. I got something to share to you. That's what got to say. That's what it gets down. There's all the years on the years. Which right? Here's your heart. All right. Yeah. A bit hairy, you know. Just say. I think I'm the radio Disneyland overnight after you smash my head in on the roof. I'm happy about it. What can I do? I'm a different person. I just got for 10 minutes. Shoo, yo, the crumbs is somewhere else. Luckily, that's a crumb. You smash my head in on the ghost light. We're very intelligent. We're best in the US, man. That's not even mentioning the parents of Fresno. No. Retirement. They started the war in Fresno. They're retirement. And you think I'm going to shut the fuck up just because I'm Disney. I'm a fucking cowardly piece of shit. In other words, we're staying in war for retirement. So, and that's it. Okay? Smile. You don't have to smile. Smile! Again, like ma fatta cavalleria rustica! Okay. No. You're doing the film of Scott Glenn of the girl who gets kidnapped. They say a little side flower, wallflower, caca, You are the autistic champion of what? Of sport. No. The negative, of course. Is there a better way of saying that? In other words, what we're trying to tell you in the US is, this is very unusual. Okay, it's very unusual that that kind of intelligence has her head bashed in on the ghost lines. Extremely. And I come back like Disneyland. Close celeb. It's very unusual. That many flies, with hang beds, a lot of grids, and lingerie defending the parents of Fresno. Intelligence. So when you say to the rest of the world, and in the US even, there are people who have brains. Not everybody is an asshole! Bitch ass! You are! And if you try to make a prostitute out of me, I already see where that's going. And if you rape, I already see where that's going. Not only with the Roman tribunal. I did extras. You don't get it. I only have 47221 left to tell you that. You retard. Goodbye. US. Motherfuckers. Shit. And your government's paying for all this shit. What beautiful assholes. She wants to, you know what? It's the Disneyland shit that lasted in a blend. Madonna mia, US. Goodbye.